so excited.
Hey, hello,
Welcome.
hello.
Welcome to the
Um,
season premiere of
are
the newly branded,
are we on
newly,
Facebook?
newly branded. It should be live everywhere. Newly branded live with Fefe and Freddy after more than a decade. Can you believe it? We've refreshed the show with a new name, a new look, um, but the same energy, if not better, um, you know, that you've come to love. We have authentic
Yay!
conversations here, and that's our thing. And it wouldn't be tradition if we didn't break something on the first go around. But I can't wait to dive in. I'm Felicia Fifi Minor, and over there is the confused man. Are we not on
I was
Facebook?
trying to find our video. It took me a minute. It was weird. The way that I think Restream is doing things differently because
Mm.
when I go to our page, it doesn't actually have the video. There's a button that says watch now, which then takes me to YouTube, which then lets me share a link.
Oh. But you are Freddie Prince Charming.
It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. Oh, now it went away.
It's
We're
okay.
fine.
Let's just keep going. Today, we have been on hiatus since June, so we have so much to talk about. Um, and what is there not to talk about?
Oh my god, so
We've been
much.
we've been
Although I
gone
remember
since
nothing, but
June, and I can barely remember yesterday. But we'll talk about what we've been up to since last season, and what to expect this season, maybe. And maybe some surprises. If you follow us on Patreon, um, you have witnessed that if I have time and if I'm able to do stuff, I have been posting for like a week straight. So you're welcome. But you can get exclusive content from us on our Patreon at patreon.com/live with Fifi and Freddy.
woo! All the socials have been changed.
Yeah, everything's been changed except for, and I know that somebody will say, you didn't change that. I already thought of it. I tried to think of everything. So, yeah. So, follow us on Patreon. Thank you to our newest subscriber, Madam Askew and the Grand Arbiter. We appreciate you, and they have been on the show a couple
Woo!
of times, and we've been on theirs. We'd like to thank our patrons Brandon, Cassandra, Chris and Michelle, Dee, Drake Jensen and Michael, Casey Starr, Carrie and Corey, Kim, Joan, Leanne, Madam Askew and the Grand Arbiter, Nicole, Patricia Mason, Shannon, and William. I feel like some of you come and go on our subscription, and that is okay because some people were apologizing, and I was like,
Nah, we are okay with that. We
I am
get it.
budget friendly. I am budget friendly. A huge thanks to Wigs of a Kind for supporting us this season. Yeah, I'm wearing a Wigs of a Kind wig. And a massive
I am
thank you
not.
to, no, this is my natural. Um, um, a massive thank you to Guido Martin and Laura Renfro for their incredible support last season. Since I didn't change it, I can put it on the screen, I guess. It, money is money, boo.
It's in the process of changing. It's a matter of customer
It's,
service and things. I don't know. It's
yes.
weird.
When I can do that, I will. But for now, it's paypal.me/let's have a Fifi. And yeah, your support helps us. Don't forget, you can stay in the loop by texting LIVE. I've changed it to 602-730-7379 to get show updates. Wonder if that went out. I scheduled that too. Hmm. But you get messages from me, and Freddie has no idea what goes out. I could be
I
saying
don't.
some bullshit
And
about him,
I'm already
and
finding that we're having issues with Restream because we are not streaming on Facebook. And it
oh,
doesn't look like there's comments. I guess we can do comments on YouTube, but it's not showing up for me when I go. So this is going to be interesting. I don't know what Restream has decided to do with all its changes, but yeah,
hold
it's going to make
on.
things interesting.
Um, no need in reading the last line.
No.
You can go ahead and start talking about since when we were
Right.
gone.
Michelle and Dee, yes, we can see your comments. For the folks that are trying to watch on Facebook, I am so sorry. I don't know why the hell it's doing this. This is a restream thing, definitely not an us thing. We'll have to look into that and figure out why it's decided to go this route. That's annoying. Um, I have no idea what I've been doing since June. I've been just
What?
I'm like sitting. I'm like, what have I been doing? I have no idea what I've been doing since June. Our youngest started high school. That's been fun.
Yeah.
That's I will have to now that we are back into things, I will have to continue to update our Patreon on some things because
It
yeah.
says that Facebook is unable to connect.
Oh, that's fun. Is it because we changed the name?
No,
Okay.
I don't know what that
Who
is.
knows? We don't know.
But go ahead, keep going. Sorry.
Um so the our she also officially now has a date to homecoming.
Oh, is it homecoming already?
I they just had fall break. I was like, "Wait, you just started school. What do you mean fall break? Like what?" My sense of time has been skewed. I am officially a promoter. Um Romeo White and myself are now
Congratulations.
promoters. Thank you for the Miss Canyon Diggit Comedy Queen preliminary, which we're both very excited about. We saw there was a need, and um, we've gotten a lot of interest. So we're hoping that this is successful. We're looking for sponsors if anybody would like to sponsor as new preliminary for our comedy queens. Who perform as a queen regardless of gender identity. So you can be a cis woman, you can be a cis man, you can be non-binary. It doesn't matter as long as you perform as a queen on stage. You can compete for this prelim, which is very exciting. I have also gotten back into community theater. Um,
Yes. I think you should
it
say it a
has
little more proud.
I no, I am proud. I'm excited about it. I have been away from community theater for a very long time for various reasons. I used to do a lot of theater up until college. I was always in stuff, always.
Hmm.
But gender identity, gender expression didn't fit anything, blah blah blah. But now I'm involved with a brand new theater company called All Queer Shakespeare, and it's this is the inaugural season, and our inaugural
Oh,
show in this
wow.
inaugural season is the Christmas Carol. It's a sort of a queer retelling of it, so it should be fun. I'm excited. um
How
let's
queer.
see. Oh, it's very queer. It's very queer.
Like, I'll
um
relate.
it's very queer. It's
Okay.
it's good though. It's
I'll be
it's
the
it's a
judge of that.
great cast. Like it's gonna be so good. Let's see, what else have I done? I think
You're
we got the
too.
pigs after we ended.
We mentioned it on Patreon, but we never talked about it on the show.
That's right. That's right. So yes, we adopted two pigs, a brother and a sister. Their names are Linus and Lucy. They've been with us now since June. I'm gonna say June.
I don't
Maybe
know.
I'm gonna
You
say
tell
June.
me.
Um, we're gonna say June. And then the week of my
It's weird.
birthday, which this was super fun for me, it was actually like 4 days after my birthday. Those of you that know that my dog Bruce, we lost him suddenly and completely unexpectedly.
Hmm.
not something that we anticipated happening anytime soon. He was literally just running around, and then one day he was just not. But we adopted a new pup right after that. We brought her home from the shelter on August 1st, and she she has been something. Um, she is a she's still a
Energetic?
puppy. She's not a year old yet. She's probably about 8 months or so. And
Uh-huh.
oh boy, I have not had a puppy in the house in a very long time. There's only been a few sort of minor casualties, like the TV remote and one pair of my glasses. Um,
What?
it's fine. It's to be expected. It's fine. Um, but what's really exciting is that she and our other dog Z are getting along splendidly.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Z and Bruce were actually never allowed to be out at the same time because they didn't get along. Z decided from go that he was going to try and eat Bruce. So they were never able to be out at the same time. So we always swapped them in their crates, and we managed. It's what you do,
Mm-hmm.
you do what
Parenting.
you do, right? So um but when we were adopting a new dog, we knew that it had to be a younger pup and that it had to be female because Bruce Z doesn't get along with other male dogs. So we brought Penny home, and for the first week it was minimal kind of interaction, and then after that it was interaction, but Z had like a basket muzzle on to make sure that he couldn't do anything, couldn't do any harm if for some reason he decided to get all weird and shit. But now they are tearing through the house like crazy fucking people, and it is insane. It is like WrestleMania in the house 24/7, which is good because Z is a fat ass and needed to lose some weight. He was 74 pounds when we took him to the vet.
Oh my goodness.
That is very heavy for him.
That
So
explains why my foot hurts when
yeah, well, I think regardless, he's still going to be a brick because he's just a brick with feet. That's
that's interesting.
so. But he will be hopefully less brickish once he loses a couple pounds, so that'll be nice. Let's see. Oh, we went to a couple of concerts. We went to the Paula Abdul and KOTB concert over the summer. That was fun. I went to the Glass Animals concert, which my partner was supposed to go with me, but she wasn't feeling well, so she didn't. So I made Dominic
So
Monstrap go
she
with me
ditched
instead.
you.
I know.
Wonderful.
It's fine. I made Dominic Monstrap go with me. Um, we've seen a lot of theater. We've seen, let's see, we saw Hairspray down in Tucson, Girl from the High Country, Hamilton, Mrs. Doubtfire, and we see Funny Girl tomorrow. And then over the weekend, I officiated a wedding, which I was very excited to be a part of. I
Which
think
was
that's
beautiful and you looked adorable.
Thank you.
Um so I don't know what's going on with Facebook, but all of a sudden it has decided that I am spamming the internet and
The fuck? What is wrong
um
with Oh my god.
and
Ugh.
I'm not spamming the internet. I haven't done really anything. I only posted like once a day
Oh my god.
when we were coming
Fucking
back.
Facebook.
So, if you're on YouTube, we thank you. If where should I put this? I think
I posted the link, so
on our
we'll see if
page.
I shared it from my page.
Well, that's not all about you, though. It's about
What?
us.
I don't know. I don't know what it's doing. But, again, it wouldn't be us if something didn't go wrong on the very first, episode of the new season. Because, God
I.
forbid, anything just runs smoothly. But on the plus side, the beeping is gone. So at least there's that.
You're welcome. Actually, don't thank me. I attempted to fix it with putting a battery in it, and would you know? Wouldn't you know that it decided to beep as soon as we're on Instagram too. I don't know how it's letting me use Instagram, but
What? Are we live on Instagram?
Oh, I thought we were. Oh, there it is. Yeah, you're
That's
welcome. So that's there.
so confused. Are we on Twitch?
Yes, I didn't turn that one off. The one that seems to be confusing it is the Facebook. And so, you're welcome.
Huh. That's weird. Okay. It's
Anyway.
fine. We're fine. Everything is fine. Totally fine.
And if you're listening on the podcast, we over the break, and they made it so easy that I just couldn't resist. Switched to Spotify. We were on a different provider, and I thought, well, Spotify is like one of the leading things, and they keep asking, move over here, and I was like, well,
Sure, why not?
um, and there's a chance for us to monetize without having to like sign up for like a membership. I think our previous provider wanted us to sign up for like a membership. We did, but we didn't have like the one where you earn money. So
No.
it's almost like X or Twitter. You have to sign up to earn money. I don't know if that's a good model, but
It's stupid.
whatever. So yeah, so Spotify lets us do this. If we get to a certain amount of like viewers or listeners, then we can get to
Oh, that's
monetize.
exciting.
Yeah, so looking
Just
forward to that.
bear with us as we kind of iron out the kinks since we've got weird
And
things happening
I
on the
am so
interwebs
sorry.
right
I
now.
tested everything. I stayed up late
Uh,
doing this.
it's fine.
Even just texting Freddie at like, you know, this is fine.
Right.
So, so it makes me mad though, because I'm like, wait a minute, I did this already. Like, it should
Right.
not be malfunctioning at all.
It's fine.
Thank you. Oh,
Right. Anyway, what have you been up to, Felicia?
yes. So the as you know, the beep is gone. But let's see. So I replaced the batteries. Not I didn't replace them. Um, I have now invested in a ladder. That was the first suggestion, right? And then um, I bought lots of batteries, lots of batteries.
See,
Um,
I would have
and
just fixed it with a baseball bat.
and well, you have to be able to reach it because it's way up there. And I have
That's
measured. It is like a 14-foot vault ceiling. So getting up there was pretty good. And then, so I replaced the batteries last night, or my husband did, because once I get on a ladder, mm-mm, mm-mm, too high. And then as I was getting ready, I was like, "What is that?" I thought it was like one of the other smoke detectors. So I like start like unplugging them and putting them back in, and I'm like, "No, no, no." He was like, "I think it's coming from your room," and I'm like, so he was a gentleman and a scholar because he got up there again and took the motherfucker down. So, because I was the one that was like, no, no, we can't have that again, whatever that
Mm-mm.
is.
No, no,
No.
no.
Because even so, during the off season, I take the time to like listen to them, mainly to judge myself. But and then like hear what we've talked about before. Um,
Bless you for listening to him, because there's no way that I was going to be able to. No
but it
fucking way
is
in
it is
hell.
annoying unless in the episode I mute it, and I can tell when I'm muted, which became a thing because then on our survey people were wondering, do I speak?
No.
So
No, you do
I'm here
not.
to tell you, yes, I do speak, and I will be speaking this season. So hopefully we can. Hi, Laura. Laura's joining us on Instagram. But yeah, hopefully, I don't hear the
We
other
shall
ones
see.
beeping, so it had to have been that one.
Oh my god!
Outrageous.
Other than the
Outrageous.
stupid fucking smoke alarm, what I mean is
Uh,
that all you've been doing for the last few months
yeah.
is dealing with the smoke
Yeah,
alarm?
just sitting here waiting for it to stop. No, like you, I have little people that started school. Um, our oldest younger one, that's weird, because she's not really a middle child. She's the older of the grandchildren. Um, Started kindergarten, and why was I such a mess? Always. But I survived. She doesn't care one or another. But it was a smooth transition. Spent time with family. I didn't really have that many gigs except for the drag bingos. And so been chilling at home. Um, I have gotten oddly obsessed with the baking shows that are holiday themed. I don't know if you guys get into this.
I
Um,
some of them I tend to prefer like the Christmas ones to like the hot like I don't really like.
so I like the
Eh.
Halloween ones I watched because they had to like make them into like a contraption where it like either bled or it vomited or like
Mm,
so there were some shows that there are some that are like kind of like elementary. You're like, oh,
mm,
you made a cookie.
right, and you put like
Mm.
icing on it and made it look like a pumpkin. Good for you. Yeah, that's
The one that I will tell you that is a little bit interesting, and it's only because what is his name? Titus? Is it Titus? He was on Kimmy
Titus
Schmidt.
Burgess.
Yes, yes. Sorry, messed up his name as always. I'm messing up people's names. Um, he is the host, but it's not like how all the other shows are. Like how they're like standing in the front of the room and yelling, and
Right.
it's like you're staying at a haunted hotel, and you only can bring you only can compete with what you bring. Meanwhile, like on the other shows, they give you everything that you'll ever need,
Right.
right? And so like these people have to bring what they like throughout the whole competition.
Hmm.
And so, and as they, oh, I guess, is my hair giving the thumbs up? Um, anyway, but as they like die off and go to room 13, huh? Um, they can bequeath their ingredients. And so it
Oh.
becomes kind of like this game of like, will you survive? And then there's like guests to the hotel that are like guest chefs.
Hmm.
And that's how they get eliminated.
Interesting.
Because if the chef
Huh.
doesn't like your dish, then.
Hmm.
So I suggest that, recommend that. I haven't finished all the way. Oh, wait. There's more episodes coming. That's what it was. Because I've been getting to the end of things. Um, and you know me, I don't really watch TV, but it presented itself. And then oddly enough, I fell into the trap of Goosebumps because I was like, I'll watch this. Like I, I thought it would be like, oh, I'm just gonna sit here for like an hour and then I'll be done. What did I do? I watched all of them. And then because it was kind of like, oh, I didn't expect that. And then you're like, oh, now I gotta watch the next one so I can see what happens. Just like the books.
Right.
I was a Goosebumps kid. So it was kind of nostalgic. And if you're into it, you're into it. If you're not, that's
Did you
uh
watch the mini series that came out? Like what was it a couple years
yeah, yeah,
ago?
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what's his name? Is it Justin Long? Justin Long? Used to be on the
Sure.
Apple commercials. Anyway,
Yes.
he plays like a major role in it because I'm trying not to give it away. I want you guys to watch it if you want to watch it. But the ghosts always go to him.
Right.
Like they take over his body. So
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, check it out. I didn't think I was going to be that into it, but I was. We did drag bingo at the Cat Cafe and sold out both times. So get those tickets. And then hosted the second annual gala and fundraiser for the Desert Star Family Planning. And I have a fundraiser on my Facebook page if it hasn't been destroyed by the robot. Because that stuff has been up there for like a week. I don't
I
know.
don't know what the hell. We'll have to look at it and see if we can figure out why the hell it's decided to be
Yes,
weird
I
all
will.
of a sudden. Because whatever, it's fine. You know,
It's fine.
spend weeks trying to prep for this shit, but whatever,
You
it's good.
know, just little me just sitting over here, needle and thread. I'm just kidding, not needle and thread. Working on things for the show has been a little bit uplifting, yes. And coming up with the logo, coming up with, all of the things. Um, and, of course, turning 40 this weekend.
Hmm.
Should I have reflections? That would be interesting.
Oh my god.
I'll, yeah. I don't think I'll be deep, but I'll,
Yeah.
I'll
That's
think
what she
about
said.
it.
uh
But something new that I am very proud of. Let's see if it works. 'Cause the way tonight's
we'll find
going,
out.
maybe not. We have a new. We don't have a new segment, but we have a new way to introduce it. Bloop, bloop.
Hey, hey, look at that. It is time for just the tip. I feel like it's like a Sesame Street thing. I still
Tonight we're talking about
Oh,
sex.
so we are going to talk about sex tonight. Ooh. All right.
Mm.
So this was sort of, but not really inspired, kind of inspired, but not really inspired by the wedding that I officiated over the weekend because it was a wedding for my favorite throuple. Um, so while I was sitting here trying to figure out what should I kick off the season with as far as a tip, and I'm like, oh, I know. How to have a three or more some.
Oh.
I know. So here's the thing.
Mm.
In theory, you would think that this would be like an easy thing because most people kind of treat it like it's an easy thing. It's like, all right, so you find someone that you and your partner want to have sex with and who also wants to have sex with you, and there you go, instant fun,
And then
right?
you go.
It's dead water, right? It, it,
Does it
it's
ever
not really
work
as
that
simple as all
easy?
that. Not really as simple as all that. So I'm gonna preface this by saying that with me talking about this tonight, I'm going to be talking from the perspective of like a couple who like regardless whether they are married or whatever, and they are looking to have a threesome with an outside person rather than like three people that are like not connected jumping into bed and having sex, because it's
Oh.
a very sort of, it's a different sort of situation. It's a little bit different scenario when it comes to discussion of things. Like, there's some things that kind of overlap, but in this case, we are going to be talking about like you and your partner want to have a threesome. So
Hmm.
that being said, now group sex can actually be a blast, but it can also stir up all sorts of insecurities and boundaries that you didn't even realize that you necessarily had.
Oh.
Um, it you may think, oh no, I'm gonna be fine with all of the things. I don't need to set
I'm
boundaries. I
not
don't
a
need to.
jealous
We don't need to worry
person.
about it. I'm not jealous. I don't have jealousy. La 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 la. Um, I'm gonna tell you, unless you've already done the work, I'm gonna call bullshit on pretty much all that. Um,
I
and
would say inviting somebody exposes what you have not discovered about each other.
right, and we're also going to sort of assume that this is not sort of a, we're out at the club and everybody's drunk and we're going to take this person home. So we're going to kind of
Oh.
go from the
But if that's
like,
your thing, we don't
right. No,
knock
there's
it.
that's no, completely. Like, that's, you do you. This is from sort of the perspective of, this is going to be planned out. We're, that kind of thing, instead of like, oh my god, you want to go home and let's, oh my god, you're adorable, we're gonna take you home right now.
Which I
So
have
we're,
seen many
oh
times.
no, for sure, 100%, like, yes,
And
but
then I tune into the Facebook to see what the drama is.
Mm. So if it is going to be a planned thing,
Mm-hmm.
then there are definitely things that need to be sort of thought out and questions that need to be asked. And it needs to be, you actually need to go a little bit deeper than what folks, I think, would kind of assume that you would need to do on, with something like this. Some questions that you should ask both yourself and your partner: why do we want a threesome?
Mm.
What, like, is it fun? Are you contemplating kind of dipping into non-monogamy, whether that is like polyamory, whether it's swinging, whether it's, whatever it is?
Mm-hmm.
um are you kind of toying with that idea, and you kind of want to dip your toes in and see how that goes? Are
How should the
you
discussion go for that?
that and that's the whole thing, like, and but more questions that could potentially lead into this discussion are, are you or your partner looking to fulfill a particular fantasy? Are you trying to spice things up in the bedroom? Like, the why is actually an important question.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be one of these things where a lot of times the topic kind of comes up as almost like a joke, or, you know how you kind of test the waters and you're
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my god, did you know you told
Wouldn't it be fun?
and then you're like, wait, did you really want a llama, or are you just kidding? No, I really actually really want a llama. So these are, it's one of those things where you obviously have to kind of figure out when the right time is. I wouldn't do it necessarily over Sunday dinner with the family, but, if
Why?
it was
I,
something that
I
came
want
up
mom
at
to
some
know
point.
everything.
I know. Then it's one of these things, hey, you mentioned this once, is this something that you're thinking that you really want to do? Or, were you just kind of talking? Why? And because the why is important, because some reasons are going to be better than others. um
Mm.
am I emotionally ready? Bringing in a third party is not a fix for your relationship problem. So if you think that that's what's going to happen, is not.
Hashtag I had a baby to fix my relationship.
Right. Like, that's not how that works. Like, if you want to have a threesome because you're trying to overcome jealousy or insecurities, that's not the way. That's not the
Therapy.
way.
Therapy.
Like,
Therapy.
it right. Like, you have to do that first and then decide to be like, "Oh, you know, we now we want to start, bringing people in and
I would
doing
even say
things." But
like couples therapy if you're conquering some kind of
if it's a
trigger.
matter of dealing with, like, jealousy and shit, like, trust me, bringing a third person in is not going to fix that. It's not. In fact, it could potentially make it worse. Like, just don't.
And you may find out
Another
things
good
about
question to
yourself
ask.
that you don't like either.
Right.
Ooh.
So another good question is, who do we want to have a threesome with? Do you want to have a threesome with somebody you know, a friend, a complete stranger, someone off a dating app? All of these options have
Mm.
pros and cons. Sexual health and safety, definitely being one. Um, if you're just like, well, you know what, we're just going to go out to a bar and we're going to find somebody and we're going to bring them home. So that could be fine if you don't want to have to worry about, like, attachment issues or anything like that. But also, you now have no idea about this person's sexual history. You have no idea when the last time they were tested. You have no idea about any of that shit. So it's a crapshoot, and you are rolling the dice on what could
Uh,
potentially be an issue.
I know I'm the
Um,
prude of the show, but at one point there was going to be an additional, and the person didn't want to be with me. So then I was
mm,
like,
and there's that. So, right. And and then if you want to bring in like a friend, or somebody that you actually know, how could that potentially affect the friendship? And there
yeah,
are people that can have sex with their friends and have no problem. Like there are
yes,
plenty of people that can, and it's totally doable. It's 100% doable, but not everybody is that person. And if you are not that
correct.
person, and now it's going to be weird, and maybe you've just ruined a friendship because yeah.
But isn't that
um
something you should go over with a friend? Are we talking
well,
about
yes, but
communicating?
even so, that doesn't necessarily always work,
Yeah.
because, and I'm going to get to this. So boundaries is there's something that you need to absolutely discuss. You need to discuss with your partner, and potentially also with the third party. And you need to be honest about it. What are you okay with? What are you not okay with? Are you
Oh,
okay with penetration? If your
oh,
partner happens to have, like, if you or your partner have a penis or whatever, are you okay with penetration? What can be penetrated?
oh,
Are you okay with just whatever? Are you okay with you being penetrated? Are you okay with your partner being
oh,
penetrated? Are
oh,
you okay with the other person being
oh.
penetrated? Um,
It's a lot of
there's,
penetration going on.
there are, these are things. What about oral sex? Are you okay with
Oh,
oral sex
is that
all
not a form
around?
of penetration?
Not, I mean, not necessarily. Some things, kind of logistics. Um, what about toys?
Oh,
Are we going to involve toys? Whose toys? Our toys? Their toys? Everybody's toys? Are they clean? Do we know if they're clean? Have we
oh.
disinfected? Like, the condoms. Are we using
I feel
condoms?
like
Are we using
toys
gloves?
are like, like when you go to the potluck. You know what
Oh,
I'm talking about?
I
Like,
I
ooh,
would hope that, and I know that this is
you are
futile,
wishing the
because
best of people.
I
Stop it.
am, I need to stop expecting, like, myself. If I knew that I was going to be sharing toys with anybody who was not my partner, like, I would be cleaning and disinfecting and things. Yeah. Um, are we using condoms? Are we using condoms on the toys? Um,
Oh, are we using
and
dental
this may seem
dams?
weird, but what about kissing? Is everybody okay with kissing?
Oh,
Some people are not, because it depends on where you want that intimacy level. For some
I
people,
have heard of
intimacy can
people
be
talking about
very
that.
intimate, and
Hmm.
you don't, people are like, I'm not okay with you kissing this random third person over here, oh my god, the Timu toys. Talk about what keeps showing up on my feed, which now god knows what's going to show up on my feed. Ay, ay,
What?
ay.
What happened?
The Timu toys, the Timu shit that keeps showing up on my feed. I don't know what is
Oh,
wrong with my algorithm, but it's terrifying. um
wow.
STI testing. Are you going to talk about STI testing? When was the last time? Um, and there's that. Um, you know,
Logistics.
when was the last time you were tested? When was the last time your partner was tested? When was the last time this other person was tested? Do you want to see the test results, or are you just going to take them at their word? Like,
I'm already
they're
exhausted.
right. And the thing is that everybody has to be on the same page, because if one person isn't, like, you want to bring somebody home and they're like, "Oh no, I totally want to be with, your partner, but I don't really know about you." You're like,
Oh,
"So then what am
I
I
can tell you
supposed to
that
do?"
feels disappointing and heartbreaking. That's all I
Right.
can tell
I
you.
mean, I'd be like, "Okay, well, great, but what the fuck do you expect me to do about it?" Like, no, that's not going to happen, but thanks a lot.
Hmm.
Um, one of the things that once you get all of the logistics situated, you want to try and especially if this is, and we're kind of speaking from like this is your first time,
General
doing
speak.
this, right? So I
Are you
wouldn't. I
saying
mean,
this
I
gets
wouldn't.
easier over time?
I think so, because once you've kind of done it, you kind of broken that ice, and you're like, okay, now we know what kind of works and what doesn't work, and what my actual boundaries are, which can change, of course, but things can fluctuate, and things can, there's it's things are fluid. um once you get all that situated and you have that person there, you want to get comfortable, you want to set the mood. A lot of people tend to go straight for like, let's get wasted, and I would not recommend that.
Oh,
um
don't you want to remember?
there's consent issues, there's like, it's like, if you want to smoke a joint, have some wine, something like that's fine, but I would not recommend getting wasted. It's harder to maintain boundaries, and consent can get blurry when people are under the influence. It's it it makes things trickier. I would not recommend being wasted on any substance. Um
Uh-huh.
and it doesn't, I mean, in theory it should get easier. We'll just,
We're not talking
just
about your situation here. We're talking about in general. In,
the
in
problem, we don't like people,
general.
so there's that. But for most people who don't
I don't know.
have
Some of
these
the
issues,
ones that she posts, I feel like I want to punch all of them in the face.
right? Those are not people that we would have in our bedroom at all, ever,
Oh my god.
ever.
Oh.
Um, one of the big things, and this is something that we talk about anytime we talk about anything, is communication. You have to communicate before, during, and even after. This is key. You need to keep kind of checking in. You don't have to like stop everything and be like, okay, is everybody okay? But little check-ins. You're good. Everybody fine? Like, time out. Okay, we're gonna do a check. No, you don't need to. You
Can
don't
I
need to.
add to that? Uh,
Yes.
you need to, and by now, or I would assume that when you get to this point that you know each other's communication style. But
Would hope so.
um, well, we would hope so. But knowing what the communication looks like is very like, because some people are like, you should have known, and you're like, no, I'm just sitting here. I didn't know anything was happening. What? So like, yeah, just make sure that you can't just assume that people know what your communication style is. Just
No, and you can always, just like in like a kink scenario. You can set up a safe word. Like, you legitimately, you can set up a safe word, and if anyone says that safe word, everything stops, because that means somebody is uncomfortable. You can use the stoplight kind of, where, if you kind of doing check-in and someone, is like yellow, it's like, okay, well, let's kind of regroup a little bit and see, let me shift things a little bit. Someone says red, you stop. So there are ways to do it without it being kind of, intrusive, so that it, literally just stops everything, and everybody's like, okay, and go again. You know what I mean? So it's there's ways to do it, but communication is definitely key. And one thing to remember is, regardless of what was agreed on, regardless of what was talked about, regardless of anything, um, you can stop at any time. Consent can be given, but consent can also be taken away at any point. And if you are uncomfortable and you say stop, then things need to stop. And that's just
the way
what
it
it
is.
is. Like, they don't get, the other parties don't get to be like, okay, well, you can stop, but we're going to keep. No, 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 no. Consent is a collective thing in a situation like this. And if one person is uncomfortable, then that's you can't just keep going. Like, that becomes, and with something like this, you have to think about sort of the aftercare after it as well. Take a minute for everybody to kind of come down, because this is like, you end up kind of on a high, during things like this. You know, you've got the endorphins going, the
Mm.
adrenaline, you've got everything is just like woo. And once you're done, once everybody has finished or whatever it is, it's like you need to take a second and let everything kind of settle, you know, before you kick the person out. Like just give it a minute. Don't be a dick. Um, and then if the you know if that third person leaves, you
I
know,
say
have sort
that
of a
for anything.
right.
I have been at
But
people's houses and they're like,
you need to
I'm
like
like,
if
oh,
you know you need to kind of debrief with your partner afterwards. You know,
mm,
like have that conversation. You know, was that
what
you
you
know
imagined?
right? Like you know, what are we thinking? How are we feeling? Was that something that you think you want to do again?
Can I speak
Um,
to the U-Haulers? Because I have noticed that U-Haulers, you invite the third person, but then you like act like you move that person in, and like that's too quick. Like you already moving too quick with the one and the two, and then you brought in the three, and like I see that all the time on Facebook. I don't know what y'all are doing, but like put the brakes on the U-Haul for the third one, and then like figure out one and two, and then
like I said, bringing a third person in is not going to fix the problems that you already have.
because some of
So
y'all
if
be
you are dealing
fighting.
with problems, or if you are having communication issues, if you are having relationship issues, if you are having trust issues or jealousy
Listen,
issues or whatever it is,
if you
bring a third
know,
person in ain't gonna fix that. It's not.
look it. I'm not saying I meant that as a general term because I see it more than once. Um, but that's good for y'all. That's good for y'all. But I see it all the time. I'm like, well, didn't you know how this person is? Like we all sit here
No.
on this social media platform and see they shady as hell.
Mm.
And then you invited a third one, and then you
It's
surprised
like,
that
oh
they,
look, now I'm living with like two narcissists, and it's like, yeah, we all knew this.
yeah, and you're like,
This is
oh,
new to nobody, and we probably warned you.
I mean, you know,
But you do you.
it's not my
Whatever.
business. But sometimes I
Mm-mm.
see the U-Hauls burning rubber to each other's
Mm-mm.
houses.
They're just on fire down the street.
Mm-mm. And I'd be like, whoa, didn't you just see
Mm-mm.
them over there? Go do
Mm-mm.
you. Not saying it's right or it's wrong. I'm just saying,
Uh, we.
slow
Oh,
down.
Hannah. Oh my God,
Slow
Hannah.
down.
They can't. They just got married. Now they're screwed. Now they're all stuck. It's fine. It's fine.
Uh, do we have time?
See and see what happens. See, and then fucking Kaylee comes along, and then it's all fucked. It's,
I said, I said, y'all are not the norm. And I feel
oh,
like the U-Haul was, it was like parked in the back, you know. I just feel like some people, we all know people off the top of our head that are not good communicators and shady as fuck. And then you see them in a relationship. You're like, oh, okay, they're going to try it. And then you see another person in that relationship and you're like,
yeah. We've all seen it.
hmm. And then you
We've
see them with the
all
person
seen
that they
it.
added into the relationship instead of the person that was there in the first place. Tell me I'm the only one.
Oh.
Okay.
So we have about 10 minutes. Should we talk some politics?
Wait, hold on. I have yet another intro.
Oh. 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 Since when do we
These are all
fucking talk
fun to
about
me.
style? Ain't nobody here talking
I
about
don't know.
style. Have you seen the way we dress?
Uh, we dress pretty stylish. I will say.
I am like 19th century chic right here.
And, and nostalgic, antique, vintage.
Vintage.
Yeah.
Vintage.
Politics makes me want to scream. Georgia saw a record breaking turnout for early voting on Tuesday, with over 328,000
Wow.
ballots already cast, according to the Secretary of State of Georgia. Um, and to put that into perspective, the previous record for the first day of early voting in 2020 was 136,000. And that's like what, half? We like
Damn.
we doubled it. Okay,
Damn.
Georgia, we see you.
I,
This election is
I can
getting.
only hope that, like, I know that Georgia is like one of those sort of like
It's a swing
key
state, isn't it?
states, so I
Yeah.
think so.
We are a swing state, so I don't want to preach
Did you
yet.
did you get your mail-in
Yes,
ballot?
yes, yes,
Excellent.
yes.
Excellent. All of ours finally showed up. Mine showed up. My partners and our sons
I
are
was
all here.
getting nervous
So,
because you said you had yours, and then I saw somebody posted online that they had theirs, and I was like, "What's gonna happen?"
and now we just have to fill it out and send it in. Don't forget,
Yes,
y'all, if you
do it
are
before the
opting to
29th.
vote by mail, please keep checking your mailbox. If you haven't gotten your mail-in ballot already, keep checking. Please get it filled out and sent back as soon as
I,
possible.
I
Don't
say
wait
fill
on
it
that
out, but do
shit.
your research. Do your
Yes,
research.
yes. Don't sit on it though. Please, 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 please
Yeah,
make sure that you vote this election. It is extraordinarily important.
yeah.
Extraordinarily important.
So,
Like, mm,
yeah, Georgia is a key state in the election. This election is drawing a lot of attention, especially since Georgia is being the key battleground state, because of last time somebody decided that they didn't want to
mm,
lose, and or
mm.
what is it, concede
Tried
or
to
whatever.
rig it right.
So plenty of controversy, plenty of um,
Bullshit lawsuits.
yeah, lots of taxpayer dollars going down the drain. So,
And speaking of Georgia, a new Georgia election rule requiring hand counting ballots on election night won't be happening just yet. Apparently, a judge has hit the pause button, saying it's not the time to add more confusion to an already intense election season. I can see that. I get that. The
keep
rule, which was pushed
reading.
by the Republican State Election Board, would have meant
Mm.
3 poll workers counting ballots in batches of 50 by hand until they matched. So no hand count chaos for November. Thank God, because that's some bullshit. Why would you want to sit there and be like, okay,
One,
one,
two,
two,
three, four.
three. How many you got over there? No, okay, one.
I think they're supposed to do it at the same time, right?
How the fuck are you gonna do it at the same time? You're gonna have to like you'd have to
I don't
if
know. We just
they
talked about threesomes, so
like
we can
because
make
if
it
they
work.
until they match, they're gonna have to like they'll have to count them and then count them and count them and over again. So like my batch of 50, I will count like so the three of us will be sitting here. We will all have a batch of 50, and then we'll just sort of pass them
Oh
down.
Lord.
Sure that we're all counting the same number. We all like all the count that like what a
I feel
colossal.
like human error will take over.
Well, I don't trust that people aren't fucking biased.
Yeah, and then you go, oh
Like
well, they voted for so and so.
right. Yeah, no, that's some horse shit. And they're just trying to like rig it the same way they tried to rig it before. Like, ugh.
Mm, mm, eh. I don't know. I just know that it's important for. There's a lot of things, especially if you live in Arizona or in the Maricopa County area. There's a lot of things on the ballot that are very important to your health and well being for a lot of us. There's a lot of things that are on the ballot that have not been discussed, like in the mainstream, that I think are important to all of us. So I know that the reading this mumbo jumbo is just a lot for some people. Um, but there are sites like, what is it, Ballotpedia, that like break it down in layman's terms and say like, if you vote for this is what you're voting for. Like it
Right.
just says that. And there are people that like break this down and do the research. So that's one site that I would go to. If you so venture, you can go to your state website and read the mumbo jumbo, but they also should, in some respect, have like some like layman's terms. This is what you're voting for.
Because a lot
And
of it, the whole point with some of these things is to confuse you, so that like they're tricky with the language sometimes. So
yeah,
like,
and
and
it
I
makes you
like
feel like you're taking like a SAT course or something. And you're like, am I voting for the right
it's
thing?
stupid. It's unnecessarily complicated, and it's designed that way so that folks that are less educated will
Correct.
catch the keywords, but not necessarily under, like, and they'll just check whatever box and just go.
Yeah,
So, and it's designed that way on purpose because government. Um, so there
but
are
yeah,
there are plenty of sites out there that will dumb things down, which is not dumbing things down. It's using plain fucking language, um, so that everybody understands what is actually happening
I
and what
wasn't going after
the
anybody's
different things
intelligence,
on the
but I'm just
ballots,
saying.
right? Because I am over
Um,
this shit and I want it done. I am so over all of it.
Plus, I don't know how I would feel if a felon becomes the president. Then I wonder, like, is he gonna like set other felons up to be like,
I mean, he already pardoned like Arpaio and shit like that. Like, all right, well,
like,
if a felon can be president, then we may as well just release all the felons from prison.
yeah, that's what I picture him being like. Well, they're not really criminals.
Well, he also doesn't admit that he's a criminal either, so there's that.
Ooh,
Never mind that he was literally found guilty on 34 counts, but whatever, it's fine.
ooh. Kind of like the Citibank worker who decided that he was going to steal more than 100 grand from a 79-year-old man with dementia.
Oh.
You know, eventually you get caught, I think. Most times. You get caught.
Uh,
Yeah, you get caught. He
Lord.
did this slowly, but made fake payment accounts in the client's name and transferred the money to himself. What did he do with it? Well, he paid off his credit cards. Good for him. Good for him.
He'll be out of debt
And
when
he
he gets
bought,
out of jail.
or back in it after, because he's been caught.
Mm.
Um, and bought himself a nice Harley.
Good for him.
Can't wait.
Uh,
So, yeah.
man. What gigs do we have?
Oh my God, you done filled it up.
I'm so sorry.
That is
I tried to put all the things.
all of the things. You're gonna be at Pride.
Um, I am. I'm not doing anything in Pride per se. I'm not performing or anything, but I am volunteering this weekend. I'm gonna be in the Erotic World tent, so if you're around, come say hi. I'll be there.
Hi.
Thanks.
There you go. On October 23rd, before this show, hopefully it won't be all fucked up next week. Um, um, I'll be doing drag bingo at Drink Me Tea Room, and then coming here. Michelle is watching, so Michelle, did you see the disappointing dad look already? Anyway, but yeah, let's dress that. Let's have a good time. Speaking of dressing up, we'll also be at Stacy's for Ripple Phoenix, the Carnival, which is themed Wicked and Twisted.
Basically, it's an Oz
Um,
theme. And we last year we worked the escape room, and I guess we did okay because they're gonna have us back this year
they
to
want
work
us
the escape
back. They
room.
really like us.
I
They
know.
really like us.
I had fun last time. I thought it was great. So
I so um I encourage you all to come. Um we were more entertained as the night went on
oh my god.
because of course people drink um and enjoy their libations and you know they're drinking and by the end of the night like as the last few come in they are so confused by the simplest things and you're like oh my gosh you totally like if you were sober right now you'd probably be like this is the next step but
hmm
watching them be like I don't know I can't figure it out and you're like
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Yeah. It's
um,
it's it's definitely amusing for us. Yeah. We
so
we yeah.
if anything come get drunk. I'm just kidding. um, have a good time and join us for the escape room at the carnival on the
It's fun. It's
25th
super
and
fun.
26th, right?
It's the 25th and 26th. And interesting enough, I have like virtually no gigs this month except for the 25th and 26th, where I literally have 4 gigs. Um,
And you like to pile them on. Wow.
everything's happening at the same time. I don't know what to tell you. So on the 26th, right before um, the carnival, is the Brick Road coffee trunk or treat. Super fun, always a good time. There's stuff happening. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Um, mhm. so come down to Brick Road, support a queer-owned business, dress up, go trunk or treating, get some candy and stuff, do some things, maybe see a story or something get read. Maybe. We don't know.
Oops.
Um, and then on October 29th, this will actually be it's a virtual drag story hour. Um, that I'm doing in conjunction with the National Drag Story Hour. And I am doing it. It is a story hour that is going to be sponsored by Plume, which is a gender affirming trans healthcare provider.
Oh
So
wow.
that'll be on their website. You can sign up and register to sign up for that event there. It'll be a public event. So that'll be fun. It'll be a spooky story hour. And then on November 9th, I'm just going to throw everything out there because why the hell not? Put everything on your calendar now so that you can't say, "Oh, I didn't know and I was busy now."
I'm
Um,
busy then.
right. On November 9th, I will be the host and MC at the Queer Center Fall Fest, which is happening at Newtown. Uh,
Oh,
I know. I know. It should be a good time. It was fun last year, even though the baking contest was totally rigged, but everybody knew that I should have
a
won that
little
shit.
bitter.
Everybody knew that I should have won that shit. When I'm going up against a literal professional baker, no, I should have won that shit. And everybody says so. Everybody said so.
Redemption. Are you going for
Mm.
redemption?
No, fuck that. I'm just going to
Oh, you're just
not.
gonna be the bitter Betsy. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I see.
You better believe it.
And then November 15th we have drag bingo and cats. And then
Which I believe
on
tickets are still available, but they won't be for much longer. I don't think
they
they
just
last time they
go.
sold out real quick. So
They just go.
yeah. And then okay, so this is the big one for me. Starting in December, um this is when I will be performing on the legitimate stage as the ghost of Christmas Present in A Christmas Carol. And it starts December 13th. And if you are friends with my partner on Facebook, she'll be setting up like a couple nights for everybody to come down and do all the things. Um, but I'll give
Oh,
you I'll give you the dates now, just so it's
oh,
on record somewhere. On December 13th, that is opening day, opening night, I guess. December 14th, there are 2 performances, one matinee and then one in the evening. December 16th is industry night. December 18th is Pride night. Um, And then there is a performance on December 20th, and then 2 again on the 21st, a matinee, and then closing night the evening of the 21st. Tickets will go on sale November 1st. Come more than once, please.
Wow.
It should be fun. It's a great cast. It's a lot of fun. We are having a blast in rehearsals.
Also,
So,
where should they follow? Because I've enjoyed the little reels that have been put out. Where should they
go
follow?
follow All Queer Shakespeare on all the things, and then our director is Monica Sampson, and she's been putting out little reels and things too. So follow her on the Instagram, and I think
You
the
did
TikTok, but
something
I'm
that
not
was
sure.
trending, and I about had a heart attack.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I was like, "Oh my
The
god!"
only that is the only reason why I knew what to do when it came on
At
at
the
the
wedding.
wedding. Yeah,
I was like, "Look at him! Oh
I
my
know.
god!
I know.
Oh
I
wow!
know.
Did something trendy."
I know.
Oh
If it hadn't been for
wow!
that, I never would have known what to do with the fucking wedding.
You would have been standing there like, "What the fuck is this?" And everybody would be like, "You should know."
Right.
But he was
Yeah.
hot to go. Pun intended. Um, Thank you all for joining us tonight for our season premiere. Our premiere.
Hopefully, we'll have
Thanks.
all the bugs worked out by next week because we don't know what the fuck happened this week.
Yeah. And I stayed up. That's the part that's heartbreaking. I stayed up checking everything.
Right, of course, and it was because and that is why. If you had just gone to bed at like 8 o'clock, it would have been fucking fine. But no, you decided to put in extra work and extra time, which meant that the universe was like, "Oh, okay, hold my beer, hang on." Yeah, that's
It said,
why.
okay, she decided to put in a little effort. Let's break
Right,
it.
right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I get. This is what I get.
No idea why. It makes
Oh
no
my
sense.
gosh.
Like, why would Facebook be like, no, we're not going to stream you live, even though we've literally been streaming you live for years? But you know what? Fine. It's fine.
Just not tonight. You're welcome. Anyway, so thank you all for tuning in tonight. And then those that watch on the replay, I don't know if Instagram will save the show, but we are available on YouTube as a podcast the next day. You can find us on Spotify. Give us a 5-star rating and leave us a review because you help us. Yeah.
Please and thank you.
Thanks so much. We appreciate it. But, oh, I didn't change that last part. But we will see you next week for Live with Fefe and Freddy.
Good night.